In this video, we're going to talk about how to interpret the slope and the intercept in terms of the context of a problem. So this is the equation that we got in the last video using time traveled in a plane and the distance traveled. Okay, so first off, this right here is our B, which is our y-intercept. So this means that when x is 0, and x in this case is distance. So the distance is 0, then the y value equals 0.8394. And remember that y in this case is time. So really this is saying that the time equals 0.8394. Okay, so one of the things that it'll ask you in the homework is it'll ask you to identify the y-intercept. So boom, we identified it. But now we need to talk about it in the context of the problem. Well, I know that the y-intercept is 0.8394, but what it means is that when I travel 0 miles on my flight, then I am going to have, it's going to take 0.8394 hours. Okay, does that make sense? Well, a lot of times the y-intercept does not make sense because if I'm traveling 0 miles, then how can my flight be taking any time? Unless you want to assume that this is meaning sitting in the airport or waiting on the tarmac or that sort of thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that most of the time when you go to interpret the y-intercept, it is what I call garbage, meaning that this doesn't really make sense. If I'm not traveling at all on the plane, then how am I taking time of my flight? My flight is non-existent at this point. Okay. On the flip side, the slope always has meaning. It is never garbage. Okay. So here's our slope. Okay. Now, what happens, how you interpret it, is we say that it is 0.0018, and because it's positive, that means it's going up. And it's going up y per every 1x. So what that is saying is I'm saying y is time in hours. So I'm going to say that what the slope is representing is that I'm increasing this much in hours per every 1, and the x value is distance, which is measured in miles. So it's saying that every time my flight goes up a mile, my time is increasing by this much. Or as my time increases this much, I'm traveling another mile. So that's what the slope is meaning in context for this problem. Now, if we were talking about donuts and money, which is one of my other videos that we were looking at earlier, again, whatever that slope is, which I believe if we go to the previous video, it was this equation. So that would be my slope is 0.75. So here, if we want to try and interpret this one, it would say I am increasing 0.75. Okay. Now remember, we always go y per 1x. So y for this problem was money, and x for this problem was donuts. So we're saying that I'm increasing by basically 75 cents or 75 cents for every 1 donut. Money earned is going up by 75 cents for every 1 donut. Okay. Now, usually a lot of our examples are positive slope. If you have negative slope, what you'd want to do is make sure that you are adjusting for one going up and one going down. And you'll see that in my actual notes also in my on my files, my PDFs. All right, so good luck with all of this stuff, and I hope it starts to make some sense.